So in my video critiquing Nintendo for their just absolutely insane prices on the Switch 2, I've gotten a lot of comments like this talking about saying, hey, games were, 50, 60, upwards of even $80 during the SNES era, N64 era. If anything, we've been underpaying on video games, so obviously these higher prices, they just make sense. And from a baseline perspective, that makes sense because yes, obviously you would expect things to get more expensive as time goes on. You'd expect to be paying slightly higher prices as time goes on because of inflation. However, what this doesn't account for is the actual cost of producing a video game and how that has changed. At the launch of the Nintendo 64, a lot of games cost between $60 to $80 around that time, which, is a kind of expensive, and so it makes it seem like, oh, well, obviously then games should be more expensive. But here's a key difference. At that time, N64 games came in a large plastic cartridge. Those were very expensive to make. Not to mention then, game companies had to have the whole box for it, all sorts of different things that went into the production of the video game that, over time, are no longer necessary, right? As we transition to CDs and then later to little SD cards, the production costs of the actual game itself went down significantly. And as a result, for a while there, that's why we saw a lot of games go down to $40, $50. That kind of became the norm for a long time, right? So then now, why are games becoming more expensive? Why is this now becoming a thing where we're getting $70, $80 games? Is it because they're actually worth that much more? I would argue no. The last thing to consider is the fact that in this current economic climate, $80 is a lot more than people might be willing to spend on a single video game, especially when factored in with the cost of the system itself. That can mean you might be spending $500 to $530 just to play one single game on a new console. That is expensive, and I think Nintendo's going to see a lot fewer sales as a result of it.